with a chance to take the lead. Kaepernick, end zone, Crabtree, broken up, picked off. This game is over.
Welcome, folks. This is 12 minutes of your time. I'm Michael Bailey. This is Ryan Bailey, and we're here to just give you our insight on the Seahawks. Week 1, Seahawks beat the Broncos 17-16. It was very close, but we beat Russ. That was important, and Pete seemed pretty pumped up. What do you think, Ryan?
I mean, week 1, going 1-0, that's what we want. We just want to go 1-0 every game. It was great out there. I loved it. Everyone was pumped up. It was a really emotional game. I was going crazy for it, going nuts. I'm glad Seahawks football is back, and we got that 1-0 right there.
Yeah, Gino played well. He looked pretty smooth. I thought the play calling was well. I liked the play calling, I should say. Hopefully he continues to do that and build on. Let me know what you think, Ryan. And also, I think the receivers helped out. We talked about hands in our preview, and I think they really helped him out. So.
I mean, Gino. Luckily we watched this Jaguars game with Gino beforehand, right? So we were trying to watch that leading up to our pregame podcast, to our before the game, so we could get an understanding of Gino. And he did exactly what he did in that Jaguars game. He hit his targets every single time, right? But 17-18 in that first half against the Jaguars. I think he went like 16 of 16. It was insane, and it was awesome to see. And I'm glad we got to see it now. I loved what I saw out of Gino when he was hitting guys, in stride, or hitting guys where they need to be, and moving and making plays and everything like that. It was really great to see. Now, the second half, didn't really see a lot of that, right? I'm not sure if it was a game plan by Waldron or what it was, but they didn't put the foot on the gas and keep Gino going. Now, I think that Denver's defense is a lot better than people actually think it is, and I think they're going to play a lot better throughout the year. Now, they were able to held us to 17 points, but Gino looked good against that defense, and he played well, and he won us the game. And I think I'm excited to see more out of him for the next week.
Yeah, I agree that second half was a little lackluster. The one thing you mentioned, the completions and how Gino started, really liked after his first initial incompletion, he had a nice completion right after that. And I really like that as well. So snap counts for the run game. We talked about that in our preview. I believe Penny had the majority. What do you have in front of you?
So I saw that Penny had about 69% of the snap count, right? And which is fine, but I would like a little bit more out of him. And Homer had 35%. Now, I get it that Walker didn't play, but he's not the guy I like seeing out there. And I said this in the pregame podcast. I don't like him out there. And so to see him play 35% of the time out there, it annoys me. And we saw why some of the reasons why I get annoyed with him is when he was trying to pass protect there against Gino, he got blown up, and he was actually rated one of the lowest members on PFF right now. So not really happy with what I saw with Homer out there. Did like what he saw on special teams. He had a great tackle on the punt return, but just didn't really want to see him out there actually running off. But he only had one carry, which makes me happy. And we got to see Penny run the ball. Now, Penny did have a fumble, and that was frustrating to see. So seeing him do stuff like that, you see Walker maybe getting a little bit more carries.
Yeah.
We'll come to find out what Walker's like, hopefully next week, if he can play.
Yeah, maybe Penny has their trust, but not all of it. So we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll see how that develops. Our tight ends looked really, really big out there, and they played well.
Dude, our tight ends are huge. 6'7", Colby, 6'4", Noah, 6'4", Will Disley. Like, they're big. They are not small boys. And Will Disley got the start and kind of kept it going for him. I mean, he got the touchdown on the broken play, which was huge. And then, he had a bit higher snap count than Noah Fant. So not sure what that's about, but we loved Will Disley when he was starting off as a rookie. He was dominant there for a couple games and got hurt. And then just things have not always worked out for him. So love to see that he's back and playing well.
Yeah, he had 2 major injuries. So that was kind of, probably set him back quite a bit. Parkinson looked gigantic on that seam route. He's 6'7". I don't see how that doesn't help a quarterback when the defender is probably not even taller than 6'2". So, and then when he puts his hands up in the air, that's a big target. I assume that pass looked very easy, but you mentioned that touchdown to Parkinson was really difficult, a difficult throw, I should say.
It looks so to me, it looks easy, but what do I know about throwing footballs, right? I couldn't make that pass at all in the backyard, right, at the park. But I supposedly it's a 40% completion rate, like completion percentage chance.
Percentage, yeah.
And so when he threw it, I was like, "Oh, looks beautiful." And it was really cool to see Eli break it down during the Eli Payton broadcast.
You watched a little bit of that?
Yeah, I saw some highlights of that. Obviously, it's hard to
Cool.
watch that because they have too many people on when I'm watching my Seahawks game. Now, I'll watch it for any other Monday, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I liked it, and it was really cool seeing Eli talk about how we must have seen something special against this Denver team. So this was film study that made that play happen, and that's what I like to hear.
For sure, yeah. Moving on to the O-line. Speaking of PFF, one of our tackles had an amazing day. The other one had some struggles.
Dude, Charles Cross did have some struggles, but those 2 sacks against him, I don't want to blame them all on him. One of them I looked at again, and Geno's in shotgun formation and has a 5-step drop back. Dude, Chubb is going.
Yeah. It's
Chubb's
difficult. That's probably a very
day.
difficult play for Cross. Yeah.
It's impossible. Like Chubb is gonna bull like they're rushing fully at him. And I just don't see how Cross could save himself on that one. But he got ranked pretty low. His run blocking was pretty good. And then obviously Abe Lucas was a stud, highest rated PFF O lineman for us. And his run blocking was golden. They loved it. And he had some pancakes out there. I mean, he's a stud. And we got really lucky with him in the third round.
Lucas definitely looked like a very big human out there. Moving on, we only have a few minutes left to the defense. Initial reaction, the goal line stops and holding Denver to 16.
Those goal line stops are huge, man. Like, I love it. But the plays before the goal line stops are also big. Jordan Brooks having a great tackle on Gordon as he's stretching out, trying to get that touchdown, stops him. Diggs, he allows the catch against the big, whatever the tight end's name is.
The tight end for Denver, yeah.
Yeah, tight end for Denver. The main tight end is like OB, whatever. Diggs, he allows the catch to be made, but he doesn't give an inch on that play. And then there you go. He gets to stop at the 1. And then next play, you know what? It's anyone's chance to get a play going again. He gives us to live another day. Game of inches. So I love football.
That's a great point about the plays before, because they give you the plays before give you the opportunity to make those other plays. So
they do.
Our fresh cornerbacks looks good. Mike Jackson looked big out there. He looked not afraid, and Woolen looked pretty good as well.
Dude, see, I don't know much about Mike Jackson. Obviously, hasn't been around long. It's only his second year, but he can run, tackle all day. He could stop those runs. He could tackle on running backs all day. He played great. Don't know how great his defensive pass protection was, but it was still not really needed because they only attacked tight ends most of the game. And then obviously Russ does best is to kind of scramble or kind of break down plays and then hit somebody who runs open. And so don't really know anything. I don't really see anything bad about Jackson there. Woolen obviously had 2 PIs. That's big. That hurts us. But he had his 1 PI against Sutton. And then the next time they go at him with the same exact play, he doesn't hold. He turns his body around, turns his head around, and follows the ball the entire time. And so he learned on his mistake, and then he made up for it and stopped them. And I'm surprised they didn't attack our corners more often. They had a weird game plan going to tight ends at the beginning and play actions and bootlegs. Attack those corners, I thought, but that's not what happened. So I would love to see how they continue to progress, but I like what I saw.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I assume we'll have 1 PI on Woolen.
2. 2.
Oh no, I'm saying every game we'll probably have 1. Is my point. But the corrections, learning on the fly like that is amazing. That's what we like. All right, we got a few minutes left. We got about 3 minutes left. So we got time. The Nwosu stood out on our linebacker crew. I thought he jumped off the screen. And the other gentleman, not Taylor, excuse me. Brooks played really well. And Barton jumped on the screen too, but he didn't have a great PFF you were mentioning to me. So what do you think? We'll start with Nwosu, defensive player of the week for the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, I remember when they got the Charger, they signed him in the offseason, right? And they gave him a decent contract, but it really didn't look good on us because they were paying him a little bit more. It's like 2 years, 20 million or something like that. 2 years,
Okay. Oh,
18,
okay.
19. Yeah, so it's a good amount of money, but he's getting a PFF grade of 90 and he's dominating out there and he was everywhere and I loved it. But the other guys who got higher PFFs than him were like Myles Garrett and guys like that. And that's if he's being up there in that same caliber of name, maybe not every week, but we'll see how that goes out. But week one he does. That's awesome, man. And and we're getting a bargain then for him. And I was bummed to see Jarrell Taylor not be the guy out there because he had so many sacks last year and he played so well. But whoever does it, and I don't care how it gets done by who, as long as it gets done. We needed pressure on Wilson, and we got it sometimes.
Yeah. We got about a minute left. Quickly, Barton and Brooks.
Barton had a low PFF, and they did run the ball all day on us. They wasn't like we were stopping him much, and they did a bunch of screen runs, which was an issue last year as well. Brooks, number one tackler for the team. Both played decently well, and as the new leaders or as the new guys playing those positions, I was still happy with what I saw because we got the W. And Barton blew up that screen towards the end of the game, the last 2-3 plays. And that was awesome. And that's what we need. Yeah. We need instincts like that.
We'll reiterate 16 points. Great. It was interesting to watch the 3-4. I definitely took some time to kind of get my eyes adjusted to that. And sometimes we had 2 down linemen very early. But wrapping up, we mentioned the DBs, Jamal Adams injury, unfortunately. What are we thinking about that? Maybe replacements? We'll see,
I don't know what to do with that. That really messes with our defense a lot. So I don't know exactly what the plan is here. And obviously we still
were out for the year. Unfortunately, out for the year.
Yeah, he's out for the year. Landon Collins is out there as a guy who we can go pick up. They play similar, And then you like Josh
in
Jones.
The box. Yeah, it was interesting to me that I read that Pete really likes Josh Jones. So I'm curious about that. And Pete loves his DB, but sometimes maybe he loves them too much. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, we're almost out of time, folks. We're about 12 minutes in. We try to keep this 12 minutes for you folks. I'm Mike. This is Ryan. This is 12 minutes every time. 1-0. Go Hawks. On to the Niners.
Let's go Hawks. 1-0. This is the best podcast for Seahawks news. Come right here to find us. All right, man. Love it.
Keep going back.